Hi VC. It's a normal post. A normal update post. And yes, I went to Portland. Exciting. I went to Portland, Oregon. And I went with a friend of mine who, fingers crossed, got him this close to joining up with us and posting some of his vinyl. And I hope he does, because he's got a great collection. And he picked up some things, I picked up some stuff. And what we're listening to right now, a band that I always heard of when they first were out, and I never really got into them. I don't know why. Because there were a lot of connections that they had that should have been having me all over this band and buying all their stuff. But it's Jellyfish and the Belly Button album. I don't know where I am anymore on the camera. I moved the camera to a different place and now I don't know where I am. I get that works. I think that works. Anyway, this they re-released these, and apparently they had color vinyl for the 3 releases, 2 studio albums and a live album, and those got snapped up online on their website. We found these at Millennium Music, and there was one. This guy actually was 2, and one had covers a little dinged up, so I grabbed this one. And fingers crossed that it might have been colored vinyl, but it wasn't. It was black vinyl. But you know, I don't mind all that much that it wasn't. I don't mind that much that it wasn't colored vinyl. Like a few people have said colored vinyl is, not all that special anymore, because a lot of places are doing it. It's still cool, but it's like, oh, colored vinyl, nice. I still like colored vinyl, but I wasn't disappointed that this wasn't. I'm thinking to myself, why didn't I listen to this band when they were first out? I would have loved them. And I knew at the time, but I just, you can't listen to every band and every album that's out there. It's just impossible. But anyway, I'm going to go through the shops that we hit, which was Millennium Music. That's the first place we hit. And so I got that at Millennium Music. I also got rummaging through their various used bins. I've never even heard of this Bee Gees album, but it's Bee Gees 2 Years On. And my friend recommended, oh, that's a really good album. Definitely get it. So, okay. And it was in great shape. So, reasonable. So, I've never seen it before. I found another copy of it later at another store on the lovely ACO label. I found another copy of it at another store, and it was just beat to hell. So, unfortunately, it's a white cover, you can't tell, but then the photo in the middle here, it's got a little bit of wear on it, but I'll survive for the price. It was a good pickup. I haven't heard it yet. I'm familiar with the first 3 albums, but they were re-released. They had a box set of the first 3 albums on vinyl. I have them on CD. But definitely want to explore more of the early Bee Gees albums, because I like those first 3. And I've seen Trafalgar. Well, I've got Odessa. I've got it on the reissue. But I've seen Trafalgar and I think Cucumber Castle. And I've been told those are both really good too. I like Odessa. So, I gotta seek out Cucumber Castle. I love the name of that title of that album, Cucumber Castle. I can't say it enough, Cucumber Castle. And Trafalgar. So I gotta seek those out. So we're still at Millennium Music here, and really happy to find this. Marked down, in fact. It's the the Classic Records issue of Peter Gabriel's live album. Probably easily one of my top 10 favorite live albums. Plays live. And it's unopened. It's the 200 gram pressing, Quax super vinyl profile, but it's the Classic Records issue. I've got a few of the big boxes. I think I've shown those of that special vinyl that they've got, and they're on 3 or 4 45 RPM one-sided. Well, this is just the regular black 2 LP black vinyl 200 gram LPs. So very, very happy to find this. I was just shocked at this price. It's like, So that was a big happy find for me. Then I was going through some the couple of boxes of 45s they had up there. I probably didn't look closely enough to look at all of them, but I found a really cool 45. I've always loved this Decca label, or Decca sleeve. Just the design on it, the graphic design on it, which is really cool. It's shrink wrap, but it was open, and it was a Rolling Stone 45. Now, I don't know if it's an original. It's a box Decca silver. I don't know if it's a reissue. I don't know if it's an early reissue or if it's an original mint, but it's in absolute mint condition except for some dusting that's needed. And it's Little Red Rooster on one side and Off the Hook, both great covers by Rolling Stones. So got to do a little research into this to find out if somehow I got an original or if I got a very early reissue. Either way, I'm happy. It's just great. Plus, I just love having that Decca 45 cover. Very cool. Just always like that. Also picked up one CD. I didn't have Roger Waters' Amused to Death in any format, so this was $6, and I've never even heard this before. So there you go. I think this completes his main solo work for me. I know a box set came out just recently, but it had a live album and an opera on it. I really didn't care that much for it, but well, maybe I would enjoy it. I don't know. But I've got Amused to Death now, and I can give this a listen and have that completed. So that was the first. Oh, one other thing. Marcia was telling me about, or showed me the latest copy of Shindig, and so actually this happened later. This is when we went back, but that night we decided to make another run back to Millennium just to take another look at everything. And I grabbed the latest copy of Shindig, which has Small Faces on it, and it's got a bunch of great articles in here and great write-ups of albums and reissues. And it was nice to find. It also has, as I thumb through quickly as I possibly can, it's got a great article about the Bee Gees. Very cool article about the Bee Gees here. Very nice. I'm sorry. Enjoy the music while you're listening to it. I had this really good, like I said, it has a really good article about the Bee Gees about their earlier years, which makes me want to find those other albums and dive into them. But it also had, I did a post about the Irish band Pugwash. Well, I got a nice article in here about Pugwash, which is great, fun to read. And nice to see them getting some press as well as, albums coming out of vinyl and whatnot. So just Shindig's a great album, great magazine. Just wish it was a little more affordable. By the time it gets over here, it ends up being $10. So, but it's worth it. So that was the first trip at Millennium. Then we went to later that day we went to Jackpot Records, which Millennium was. You saw Millennium in the video clip that I put in. It's your standard, straightforward record shop. Used record, used new DVDs, everything, CDs, vinyl, everything. Jackpot was really nice. It was a big open space, like 2 stories open space. Part of it was upstairs for offices and all that, but they had one wall that was 2 stories high, and they had just albums, more collectible albums pinned up on the wall, and prices on them and everything. In the back, behind the counter, really big space. It was very open. And it's almost a little too sterile. Lots of windows around it. This is more in downtown Portland. I didn't get any pictures of it. I should have. I just didn't think, But it was almost a little too sterile for me. And I was surprised they didn't have a whole lot that I was interested in. I didn't think they would have a whole lot I was interested in. They had some cool things behind the counter, some few collectible things. I ended up finding 2 things in their new release, or their recent arrivals that I picked up that I was looking for. Well, first off, I'll start with this 45 that I picked up in their 45 bin for $1.50. This has to be a reissue of some kind. It's on the Pink Immediate label. It's a U.S. pressing. It's in minty mint condition, but it's a 45 with the Knights doing the Diamond Hard Blue Apples of the Moon on one side, and America from West Side Story, Second Amendment on the other. It's in, you know, it must be a reissue. I don't know why this, maybe it's part of a reissue set from Immediate. I don't know, but it was $1.50 and I picked it up. It's like it was made yesterday, so I've got to do a little investigating on that. Now the other two things, the albums that I picked up were two things that were on my list. One, I wanted to get a few more of David Sylvan and Japan albums, and I picked up Exercising Ghosts. It was nice to see this. Cover is a little bit worn, just a little, but overall the vinyl is in its original pressing, and the vinyl is in, you know, great shape. Nice specialized labels for this album. So, I've heard this a bit before. I've never owned it before. But I was very happy to find it. I've always loved this cover. Just the cover alone always intrigued me, and it's just, I never got around to buying it way back when, and it's one of those things that's sort of on my radar, and there it was, at an affordable price, so I was happy to get it, and I know I'll like it. I just haven't had a chance to put it on. And let's see, yeah, December, somebody wrote here, December 1984, Kendra in GT. Not sure what GT would be, but yeah, it was bought for $12.99 as a rock import back in December of 1984. It's got it on the inside of the sleeve there, some information. I love looking at that stuff. I think I've said before. I think that's just so cool to see. Just little indications of history to albums, especially when you buy them used. I know it's kind of weird, but you know, it's just little. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's just like this little price tag. But then up here, it has date information: December 1st, 1984. Kendra in GT. Don't know what that means. But then the sticker down here says Rock Import $12.84, $12.99. That was the original price for it. So Kendra, wherever you are, if that's your writing, thank you for taking care of this. I appreciate it now, and I'll take good care of it myself. Let's see. And also at Jackpot Records, this is a little beat up. It was only $4, and it's the double album version of it. It's Colourbox. I don't know if anybody was into Colourbox way back when. I think this came out in '84 as well. So this, it's kind of, I don't know how to describe this music. I gotta think about it. I should have. I really don't know how to describe this music, but there's an extra. Yeah, it's pop. It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of lounge, pop, up tempo. It has found sound in it. It's a mixture of a little bit of everything. I always thought this was a very cool cover. I think this is their first album. And after that, I really didn't buy anything of theirs after that. I didn't care much for it. But there were two versions of this album released, one that had 2 vinyls, one that had 1. This is the 2 vinyl. If you just got the 1 vinyl, the 1 album version of it, you're fine. You can say this is really kind of beat up here. But the vinyl itself, you know, aside from being a little dusty, it's in great shape on 4AD label. This side 3 and side 4, the second disc, needs a little bit of cleaning. The second disc has got a couple good tracks on it, and the rest are so-so. You know, they're okay. They have a few songs on here. But disc 1 is very good all the way through. It's real fun to listen to. Might even be some recognizable songs on here that people would hear. Oh yeah, I remember hearing that on the radio. So, anyway. That was nice to find, even in the shape it's in. You know, the cover and the dust jackets are, well, they've seen better days. But the vinyl, in good shape. So I feel like I can't help but think I'm talking over them. So Colourbox, yeah, I'm glad to have this, and I'll definitely be looking for an upgrade to this in the future. But for $4, and it's something I know I was looking for, is the double album version. I figured, what the heck, might as well. I don't know why there's one nice insert in there. I don't know why. Doesn't make any sense. So that was Jackpot Records in downtown Portland. Very cool. Nice little place. I would definitely stop in again. We also went to Powells Books. Powells Books is a huge bookstore in Portland, and I found a couple of things. One was is Up Periscope Yellow, the making of the Beatles' Yellow Submarine by Al Brodak. He was, I believe, one of the producers of the movie. And I've seen this book I saw this book when it first came out, and I always thought it'd be interesting to get it and read it. And I always thought, well, I'll just wait until I can find a used copy of it, and the used copy of it showed up. It's been out for a few years. That's basically his story about how the movie got made, and since it's about to be re-released on DVD and Blu-ray, I thought it was a good thing to get. So, let's see. And another very cool book that I picked up was that I picked up, and also Marsh picked up. There was 2 copies of it, and I found it. It's got some laminate problems on the front, but it's the interior that counts, and it's a sort of a history of immediate records, and it's just great. I believe it's a UK printing as well. I'm not sure. Oh no, it's probably just a US printing. I think it is a UK printing, yeah. But it's just a history of immediate records, and 45 covers and album covers and whatnot, and just all kinds of information about the history of immediate. So didn't want to pass that up. That was just too good of a book to let go of. But it's got to be careful. I can hear it cracking and pulling away from the bindery here, so I got to be careful of it. But it was half price. Yeah, it was half price, and full of information. Like I said, great photos of all the bands and whatnot. So very happy to have this, and the Yellow Submarine book. Let's see. Then went back to Millennium that night, and you saw my video there. Well, I did pick up the Skatalites Play Ska album. I haven't opened this up yet, but thought couldn't go wrong with this, so that was a grab. And I think you also saw me pick this guy up, which is something I passed on when it first came out, and it's the 10 Green Apples box. It's a T-shirt and a CD. The CD has songs that were not released anywhere else, even in the box set, I guess, of the Apple remasters. So from all the other bands, I grabbed that. And last but not least, I found the last thing you saw in that clip was the Kinks mono box, and I had sort of lost interest in this because there wasn't a whole lot of new information on it. I bought all the special deluxe versions on CD, and most of the mono tracks and all that were pretty much covered by that. So, but then I remember when this first went on sale, about a week or two after it went on sale, it all of a sudden wasn't available anymore, and prices just skyrocketed on this thing. And if you look for prices on here for this online, they're quite high. And I found one at the lower than what I would have paid for if I had bought it when it first came out. So it was one of those things I couldn't pass up on this. It was just too good of a deal, and I thought it was a great package. I haven't opened it up. Obviously, it's still sealed, but I don't know if I'm going to open it up. I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that. I didn't really buy it as an investment, but it was just an opportunity to buy a Kinks item that I'm not a huge Kinks fan, but I do like Kinks a lot. This was just a package worth owning, a box set worth owning because of everything that's in it. So anyway, so I got that. that was the second. That was the the nighttime return to Millennium, and then the next day we got up. We hit before heading back. We hit one more store, and they don't have a label on here, and it was Second Avenue Records. Easy to find because it's on Second Avenue. So very happy to have found that. And that's a place we'll definitely be going back to. There's a couple stores we'll be going back to. We didn't hit, we had a list of stores to go to. We just didn't. And just to keep this not too long, as I tend to do, I picked up the Linda McCartney 45 picture disc 45 of White Prairie. This is one I've seen before. I just never got around to pick up, and then it just became extinct. And then they had one, so I grabbed that. They had a lot of good things. Second Avenue was a really kind of your typical dark, grungy kind of record shop, which was fine by me. I mean, they had a lot packed into a small place, and they had a lot of hardcore punk and whatnot. In fact, Marsh grabbed the box set of the Cramps 45s that has just been re-released. Not all their 45s, but just from a certain particular era or portion of their catalog, along with some unreleased stuff that they put out on the 45s as well. So he was very happy to find that. They had a lot of punk and hardcore metal and reggae, all kinds of stuff. And they had a good selection of everything. Tons of t-shirts. If you're looking for a t-shirt, a music t-shirt, go to Second Avenue Records. They've got them hanging up all over the place. It's great. Another thing I was very happy to have found there was the Beatles Volume 1 Anthology on vinyl. I had Volume 2 and Volume 3. I didn't have Volume 1. So this is great to have this, and at an incredible price. So I couldn't turn it down. They had like 2 or 3 copies of this at varying prices. Nothing wrong. They're all still sealed, brand new. But this is a really good price, so I was happy to get that and complete all 3 of my anthology on vinyl. So that was the Portland trip. Oh, one other thing, Marsh, if you do happen to watch this, I've got your somehow your New York Dolls, Pink 45 New York Dolls, Dance Like a Monkey, and Beauty School. Pink 45 is in my possession, and I'll get it to you as soon as I possibly can. This is one of the items Marsh picked up, so you can kind of consider this maybe Marsh's first VC post, maybe? No? Nah, I don't think so. But anyway, that's kind of a cool item, and if he doesn't remember, I might just keep it. I don't, because it's pink vinyl, that's pretty cool. Anyway, the side of that record is over with, and that's my cue to get out of here. Thanks for watching, and I'll be having another update from some stuff I picked up today, sometime soon, and another post for something else I want to do, so, and something else too. Anyway, take care, and see you folks later. Bye.